and welcome to this week's edition of What's Up in ELPS, the show about what's happening in your schools brought to you by your kids. I'm Natalie Rathbun.
And I'm Courtney Ingalls. Let's start this week at the high school, where the robotics team recently competed in a regional tournament in Worcester, with hopes of continuing on to the World Championships in April. ELHS senior Alex Ferranti is a member of the team.
On the weekend of Spartanum, the East Longmeadow robotics team competed at the Southern New England Regional Championship in Worcester, hosted by QCC.
Over on the red side, we have 817C Sparta John C. team from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts.
This tournament puts us up against 80 of the best teams around Southern New England, which includes Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. This is a video of one of our elimination matches. The very start is an autonomous period where we program the robots to do things. For this game, the idea is to score as many of these balls in the nets as possible, get more points for putting them in the net. And whoever has the most points in this 15-second period gets an extra 10 bonus points for the overall score. In the robotics club, I got exposed to a lot of elements of the mechanical field, building things, taking stuff apart, hands-on tasks, problem solving, as well as electrical things, your wiring, your troubleshooting, wiring, coding, stuff of that nature. And for me, it really showed that I had the talent with mechanical tasks. And because of that, I've decided to go to school to be a technician in the automotive field, and I have aspirations of being an engineer someday.
This week we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and the students in the culinary arts classes put on a special Cafe East.
Today's our St. Patrick's Day Cafe, and over there we got people making shamrock shakes. Back there we got our fun house doing their thing, making sure all the money's right, and we have people ready to go out on carts, so it's going to be a great day.
So you guys had special guests today?
Yes, we absolutely did. We had Miss Mac's almost entire family come in, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, we do cafes generally every 2 weeks, but St. Patrick's Day Cafe does happen every year, not necessarily on St. Patrick's Day, but right around that time.
We come every time we're invited. What's that? As long as Mary Jane's been here.
Rachel.
Finally, at the high school this week, I sat down with two very creative students behind a musical comedy show being staged this weekend at the Drama Studio in Springfield. The original show, called To Kill a Mockingjay, began as a way for writers, actors, and producers Dan Kelly and Michael Nevins to explore their possibilities of theater outside of the high school drama club. How did this all start? How did the making of this play start?
We were both at rehearsal with the East Longmeadow Drama Club, and we were kind of done. We wanted to cut our ties with the East Longmeadow Drama Club, and we said, let's see what we can do on our own. Let's see how much two students can do. And we were walking around the high school. It was a late night after a rehearsal, and we were just thinking, what could be a musical that should not be a musical? Like if Forrest Gump was a musical, it just wouldn't make sense ever in 1,000 years. So we picked The Hunger Games.
We had to write it down on pieces of actual physical paper because our phones were dead, and then we stopped doing it. We stopped writing it after a while, and then we kind of just drifted away, lost interest. After losing interest for a while, we got back into it, and we never really stopped from there.
This show covers all folks from all ages, and everyone can enjoy this show. And really, even if you don't know The Hunger Games, you'll definitely enjoy our show.
And I feel like once we hear the laughs coming in on opening night and the adrenaline's with us, it'll really start to pay off for us.
Without giving too much away, how would you explain your play in a couple of words?
It's all three of the Hunger Games novels. The first two novels are in the first act, and the last novel is the entirety of the second act, and it is a musical parody. We do change some things, or cut some things, or add some things. It's not an exact verbatim retelling, of course, we add jokes and such, but we do tweak certain elements to make it comical.
You are both acting in the play.
Yes, there's a big shortage of not enough guys do acting. Not unfortunately, but we both have to act in the play along with producing it, directing it, and being the writers. And there's some challenges and stuff like that to that, but it's totally worth it. And I wouldn't want to have it any other way. And actually, because I'm acting in it, that's why my hair is blonde right now. I usually have luscious, thick brown hair, but you got to do what you got to do for the show.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you go about choosing the right people for the right roles?
During the writing process, we didn't really have anyone in mind, and then as we kind of closed off the first draft of it, we were like, okay, if this is going to be a thing, we might have to have some people in mind. So for each role, we kind of wrote down like a few people each that we could see doing that role that we knew would be interested in it. And luckily, we got pretty much most of our first choices came with us, which we are very fortunate to have because, I don't know, I just feel lucky that most of our first choices in casting were accepting of what we were doing.
The musical To Kill a Mockingjay will be performed at the Drama Studio at 41 Oakland Street in Springfield. We have a Friday performance, March 18th at 7:30 p.m. Two Saturday performances, March 19th at 3 p.m. and 7:30, and two Sunday performances, March 20th at 6 p.m. and 2 p.m. Reservations are strongly encouraged because seating is limited. You can call our reservation line at 413-525-5659.
Okay, well, thank you both for coming here and talking to me today.
No,
Thank you for having us, man.
And I hope your play turns out great this
We
weekend.
do
I
too.
so do too.
Now we stop by at Mapleshade to check in with our team in the Tech Club, a lunchtime group working with Mr. Wiedersheim to report, shoot, and edit some of the stories you see here on What's Up Each Week.
Hi, I'm Madeline. I'm here with Anna and Vivian. We are going to interview some people from room 10 that do robotics. Let's go. What Errol and Rachel are doing is working on their programming.
Brianna and Victoria are working on adjusting their program.
This is Lila and Lucas's robot routine.
This is Sophia and Tim's program.
This is Andrew fixing his robot.
This is the whole class working hard on their robotics program.
What's your robot's name? Me and my partner actually named him Rob because it's a robot, he's operational, and he's a bot. Simple. So, what are the other things that you did with your robot? Well, we actually wrote a poem. Can you read it? We call it T-Rex Run, and it's written in bold letters. It goes, I'm Rob, fastest of them all. I, the T-Rex, runs and roars as he catches his prey. This is how I survive. I walk home with my dinner, and I'm done for the day. Thank you for answering my questions. So what's your robot's name?
His name is Chet.
Did you do anything else with your robot?
Well, we wrote a poem for him to act out the hours.
Okay. Can you read that poem to me?
Sure. It's called Chet to the Rescue. Rush to the rescue, bark loud and clear. Sniff out danger, dig to the rear. Chet's very fluffy, Chet is so adorable, Chet is amazing. There's no better fire dog than Chet.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Hi, I'm Madeline, here with Mrs. Larkin from room 10. I want to ask her a couple questions about robotics.
So why did you do this robotics with your classroom?
Well, I did robotics in my classroom last year and it went really well. The students programmed for the robots to do basic movements like going forward, turning, responding to a sensor. And so this year I decided to incorporate their writing into their robotics. So the students all worked with their partner to write a piece of poetry, and now their robots are acting out that poetry.
So how's robotics going with your class this year?
So this year it's been pretty challenging for some of the students to get their robot to do what they want it to do, and so we've had to do a lot of what I've been calling troubleshooting, testing your robot, seeing what it does, and then going back and tweaking your program, and then retesting and retweaking. And I think the process of having to constantly change and improve something is really a new feeling for some students. They don't always struggle with that, having to constantly improve something.
Did they do anything else with their robots besides poems?
Yeah, so before they finished programming, they also designed a costume for their robots. So just using construction paper and collages, they all have a costume that slips on and off of their robot to get the robot into character.
Nice. Well, thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Hi, I'm Abby. And I'm Benjamin. And we're going to tell you about Chess Club. Mr. Carey is doing Chess Club to see who will be chess champion at Maple Shade School. During recess, kids will be announced on a loudspeaker. And those people will go down to the library. If a person wins the match, they will proceed to the next match until there are 2 people left. Let's see what's going on.
Hey guys, I'm Madison McCoy. So today I'm here in the library at Maple Shade School with Mr. Carey. So today I'm going to ask him some chess questions. The first question is, why did you start chess?
Why did I start the chess tournament?
Yes.
It goes back a long time ago. I had some students that would come down to me at recess and say they didn't, indoor recess didn't have anything to do, so we started playing some chess together. And the more kids started finding out about it, the interest just kind of grew. So in order to kind of include everyone involved in it, we just kind of opened it up to the whole school. We had a big sign up, every class from 3rd through 5th grade, and it turned out that we had over 100 kids sign up our first year. So in order to kind of get everyone involved, we kind of came up with like a little tournament idea.
Wow, that's awesome and very interesting. The Chess Club tournament will continue through April in Maple Shade Library. The championship match will be broadcasted live throughout the school. Good luck to all the participants.
Now to Meadowbrook, where students in Mrs. Sears' 2nd grade class displayed their science projects last week. Here are a few brief highlights of the event.
Finally tonight, an event for parents held in February at Meadowbrook. Solving the Worry Puzzle was a presentation that addresses a crisis in mental health today, anxiety in very young children. Betsy Sheehan, a licensed clinical social worker, says it is the #1 mental health concern in the country.
We are very happy to see you because anxiety is one of the #1 mental health diagnoses in the country. Most of the frequent reasons parents bring their children to mental health providers is also because of anxiety. We all have anxiety at some point because we have different parts of our brain that work for different reasons. And where anxiety comes from is this little itty bitty part in the back of our brain. It's about this big, and it's called the amygdala.
Sheehan's colleague, Counselor Joe Hudson, explains that the sources of that anxiety are something parents have to address.
It's going to be a big attitudinal shift depending on how you are dealing with worry now in your family. So it may be that you need to shift from kind of always being there to comfort, to fix, to accommodate those worries, to really guiding your child to kind of take over that role, and for them to be the ones who are eventually reassuring themselves. And you're kind of their coach, you're there to cheer them on, you're there to support them.
That's our show for this week. I'm Natalie Rathbun.
And I'm Courtney Ingalls. Good night.